Yeah, I think the most horrible feeling about going back to prison is when you go past signs. And I remember going to the scrubs because I only live about a mile from the scrubs, yeah. So you go and it turns in left or right into Duquesne Road, and you go, oh, what? And you can see the prison on the left hand side or the right hand side, which way you come in, yeah. And you go, nah, I can't stand this shit, man. You go in there and you go for that gate, mate, and then you go in and go in reception, and they drop that ball at the back, boom, and you come out the back, you know, the old-fashioned one, yeah. And you walk into reception, mate, and it stinks. It's the worst smell you ever smelt, yeah. And you go in there, and they put you in this big room, yeah, full of people, and they're all smoking fags. They're all talking about the appeal and this and whatever, and you're thinking, oh dear, I can't handle this, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they'll be calling your name out, yeah. And as you walk out, usually to the right, it's a great big pile of bedding, yeah. They'll always tell you to put your bedding up, yeah. And mate, you can't believe it when you don't pick it up straight away. Is when you're going to the wing, what wing they allocate you to. They're going to say, right, pick your bedding up, go and pick your bedding, and it's piled high, yeah. And it's piled high, and it may be 2 sheets and a top cover, and they don't 2 blankets and a top cover, sorry, not sheets, your seats and a pillowcase, yeah. But when you get this bedding, the smell, you can't believe the smell of it. And you've got to remember that a lot of this bedding, right, people have had in their bed for 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 months, and never changed it. You've got to remember that, you know, some of them people are such filth, they never change it at all, yeah. And you're going in there, and you don't know what's right to pick out, mate. You pick one out, and it's absolutely filth, and they won't let you put it back and change it again. You've got to take the one you took, yeah. And then you think, oh, what the fuck? And then you got but that ain't, you don't pick it up until the end. But anyway, when you come out, and when they're talking to you, and they took your name and everything, and they go, wait, back again, Ellie. You know, you go, yeah, go, no. And they go, right, go and get your food. And you walk over there and get your food, and you think, oh, what? You know, I mean, you can't believe it. And where you get your food, sometimes they got stuff in there like clothes in there, like t-shirts and stuff. And you're trying to get this and that, and you know, go, no, we can't do that, and they can't do this. And you think, oh, look, what a wanker, you know. Anyway, then you go in a big room, yeah, massive big room, and all sitting in there, and their old faces, you can see the faces of Chinese, is all down, and you pick your food, you got your food, you're eating your food, and it's the worst food that you could ever taste, you know what I mean? But you know, you've been there before, you know what to expect. And you're sitting there and you think, oh, what? And all of a sudden the screw comes in, calls your name, you walk out, he goes, right, go down, get your bedding. You pick your bedding up, and you think, oh, the smell of it. But when you pick up, they give you a pillowcase, yeah? In a pillowcase is maybe a couple of shirts, t-shirt, couple of vests, pair of pants, socks, you know, all different colours, yellows, blue, greens, all different colours in there, all different sizes, you know? And you might get one big blue, one small yellow, you know what I mean? It's like, it never ever, anything you get from that reception is like unbelievable. And when I first went away, the scrubs had a laundry, but it was an old-fashioned laundry. The water wasn't that hot, so and then they put new boilers in and all that, this, that, and the other. And the clothes you got were absolutely filthy. But I remember when they go, do you want a bath or whatever it is, you know, and you go in this bath house, this little bath place, and they got about 6 or 7 baths, yeah, and they measure it with a piece of wood. You get about 2 or 3 inches of water, and this water is like lukewarm, you know, because there's not much water because of the boilers, and you've got to get in there. But not only do you get in there, so there'll be 10 people after you get in there or before they get in there, so you're getting water that's, well, what the screws do. A lot of people take notice. People that listen, you get people in there, paraffin lamps, you know what I mean. But what the screws do say, right before you get in that bath, you have go to the toilet. Anyone's got a toilet, go to the toilet first. You can imagine what it's like. You've got 2 toilets in there, stinking. You know what I mean? People don't anyway. So when they get in the bath, you know, you get the ones that wee in the bath, you know, fart in the bath, blah, you know, and you got all the shit around it. Oh, it's like, it's, you know, it's, you can't believe it, mate. You know what I mean? Chuck a bar of soap in, bar of carbolic soap, big bar of carbolic, and you know, you're trying to, and it's filth, man. It's absolutely filth. They give you a towel that's been used 20 times, you know what I mean? All you do is chuck it in the dryer, you know, and it's like, when you first, in them days, it was like, whew, unbelievable. You couldn't believe what it was like. And when, sort of like, you go to the, pick your kit up, and you go to the wing, and, you know, you're in that wing, mate, and you can hear, like, people screaming and shouting through the doors and bits and pieces, and you're thinking, what? And then they go, well, you're going over there, boom, boom, but go in the cell, and there's 3 in the cell already, yeah? 3 in the cell already. 2 bunk beds in my time, 4 in a cell. You know, they weren't allowed to do that, mate. 3 in a cell, maybe got away with, but even that, they couldn't get really, they shouldn't have really done it. But you go in a cell and there's 4 up, mate, you know, and you've got 2 bunk beds. There's nothing in there but a table, a chair, an old aluminium piss pot, and that's it, you know, and a jug, a couple of jugs. And you think, what have I done, man? Fucking on. You're going in there and the geezer says, right, mate, you know, you're up on the top bunk or whatever it is. You know, the worst part of it really is being in the bottom of the bunk, yeah, because the people at the top bunk, you only got to get someone that's weak at night, you know, and could wee in it, and it drops through, you know what I mean? And I didn't really think about that. It was only my mate Terry that told me that it happened to him. You know, you can imagine, can't you, laying in bed and someone's weeing, you know, and it's coming through you. So, because them mattresses are only rubber, you know what I mean, rubber, you know, but anyway, so you can imagine, and they've got no covers on them. A lot ain't got no covers on them, you know what I mean? So you can imagine what happens. And you're going in there and you're talking, and you're going, and you don't smoke, and they're all smoking this brown black beauty or some shit like that it is, and it's the worst stink, and the tobacco's black, pure black beauty, and there's what they buy from reception, what they buy, not from reception, what they buy from the canteen, and it's the worst smell ever, you know, and it's stinking, and you know, I might have told you before, but you know, you can wake up in the night with the worst smell ever, and someone's having a poo in there, you know what I mean? You can't believe it, and because there's 4 of you in there, they you know, it's, well, they somehow make a thing on the floor and poo on the floor and wrap it all up and chuck it out the window. But you can imagine, can't you? It's like, you know, it's running all down the paper and it's all running down their arms, and it's like the smells, and yet, you know, you think, oh, what have I done? And you want to kill these people, but you just got in that cell. And do you know what the funniest fact about it is, right? Is when you're in these cells, you've got no idea who you're banged up with. You know, you could be banged up with a raving lunatic, you know what I mean? That's killed 10 people or what? No, that's ridiculous. But mate, you know, or white nut could come up at night time and try to suffocate you and all that. I was all out. I was big. It didn't bother me. But you know, you do get the nutters in there, and yeah, it's. And then you wake up in the morning, well, you wake up about 6 o'clock with the screws going around then, in them days, with the truncheons, yeah? Bashing the door with the truncheons, you know, waking you up. And then turn the light on outside. And you're on about getting, you know, turn the light on at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And smashing the door with the truncheon. Bed, make your pack. You know what I mean? You've got to get out of bed, make your pack and all that. It's like, it's military, mate. It's real military. Bit military in the slum. It's slum military, yeah? And then they come along, open the door, and then you've got to walk to the recess with whatever, a bucket. Well, I don't think they had many buckets in them days when I first started. It was just an aluminium piss pot and a jug, you know. So you can imagine it's 4 of you, right? And so one's got to take the aluminium piss pot, and he's got to slop it out. Mate, it's the smell is just too much. You couldn't believe it, you know. Anyway, I'll do a second part of that in a minute. Bang, bang, bang. Good morning.